Today, as we continue our theme about trusting God, I want to direct your attention to Psalm 28, and I encourage you to read the entire psalm. It's only 9 verses long, and this is another psalm of David. And in verse 7, he says, "The Lord is my strength and my shield, in him my heart trusts. So I am helped, and my heart exults, and with my song I give thanks to him." So one of the things that trusting God does is it leads us to thanks, to gratitude, and it leads us to praise. And if you look at the progression just in this verse, trusting God, first of all, the Lord is my strength. Trusting God gives us power. It gives us the ability to cope with things that are difficult and challenging in our life. And the Lord is not only our strength, but our shield, which is, of course, a shield is a defensive weapon. It's a protection. It's something that helps us to parry the blows of an enemy. And so there's a sense in which David is saying, and he was very familiar with fighting and with combat at that time and in his life, that God both empowers him, trusting God, and protects him. And then he says, in him my heart trusts, so I am helped. And I'd encourage you to reflect after I finish this video, how has trusting God helped you? Can you think of situations or times in your life? It may have been some of the most difficult times you faced, when you've lost a loved one, when you had a very difficult physical diagnosis, or you began a chronic journey with pain or a condition that has not and may not be taken away. How does trusting God help us when we're in some of those most difficult and painful situations? Meditate on that a little bit, and maybe even jot down a few thoughts of what comes to you. But David says in verse 7, "So I am helped, and my heart exults, and with my song I give thanks to him." I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes when I'm driving, even though I know I'm supposed to do good and forget it, so like when you let somebody in, or you let somebody cut through or pass, don't you feel differently when someone gives you a little wave or a little smile or a little nod versus someone who just ignores you completely and seemingly takes your kindness for granted? Well, if you have that kind of feeling inside when that happens, then you can understand why David says it's important to give God thanks and praise. We don't want God to think that we're not grateful, that we don't appreciate all the ways that God has helped us. So don't forget to express some thanks and praise to God today for anything that you can name that you're grateful for.